Parental rights are a major battlefront in California. This is a big story in the state of California. Now, I want to talk about this. Temecula Valley Unified School District has been attacked for banning critical race theory and enforcing parental notification policy. That policy requires schools to notify parents if their child chooses to use pronouns or use bathrooms that don't match their biological gender. Now, the school board has voted in, was voted in by parents who align with the policies that are put in place, but a group of activists and teachers, they're going after the district and filed a lawsuit last year. Last week, though, a judge denied an injunction requested by the plaintiffs and decided to keep the board's policies in place for the time being. We'll call this a small victory for the district for now. And joining us now is the school board president, Dr. Joseph Komrosky, and his lawyer, Robert Tyler, who is the president for the nonprofit Advocates for Faith and Freedom. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Scarlett.
I think this is an important conversation, so I'm glad you're here. Joseph, I'm going to start with you. So the next court day is on May 23rd. What do you make of this case and the actual attacks against you? You're constantly defending yourself. You're defending the school district. What do you make of it all?
Well, aside from being a school board trustee, on top of that, I'm just a concerned parent. And so for me, I want back to basics education, reading, writing, math, arithmetic, history, science. And CRT is divisive in nature, and it's Marxist. So we don't need political, social ideology being stuffed down our, innocent child's minds or the sexualization of our youth. But one thing to be clear, too, is that we're not targeting these students. We want a high-quality education for all, and this parental notification protects all students. The other thing to draw attention to is that CRT is un-American. When we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we talk about, being undivided as an American people, but CRT divides. And so we stand on California.
So with CRT, you guys couldn't do the Pledge of Allegiance? Is that how that works?
No, we can. We can do the Pledge of Allegiance, but it's one of the motivations and the justifications for why we would go after to restrict CRT language is because it's un-American. And California Ed Code 233.5 emphasizes morality and patriotism. So if it's un-American, and it violates Ed Code, doesn't need to be in the school district.
Doesn't belong. Robert, as the attorney, I want you to talk about, the mainstream media has tried to spin this, the policies. Can you set the record straight what the policies are, and do they discriminate against any students? Because if you read all the articles in mainstream media, they do.
Right. Let me start off with one thing. This is not a minor victory. Actually, this is a huge victory.
Great.
And the reason why is because when the judge rules on a motion for preliminary injunction, one of the tests is whether or not the plaintiffs who are challenging the district, whether the plaintiffs are likely to succeed on the merits of their case. This judge found all across the board, no, these plaintiffs are not likely to succeed. There's two policies at issue. One's actually a resolution that addresses CRT. And it's not necessarily a ban. What it does is it restricts CRT from effectively violating the California Education Code, where the California Education Code prevents racism. It prevents division. As Dr. K just said, indivisibility, that's what we want as Americans. But the CRT curriculum generally that is used out there is to try to put races against each other. And so that's one reason why that resolution is sustained by this court as being reasonable, and frankly, it will ultimately be deemed constitutional. The other provision
is the parental rights policy that's being called like the anti-transgender.
Yeah, that's what they want to say. But the policy itself, what it does is it provides parents notification if any child comes and says, I want to change my name. If I want to change my name from Robert to Tom, the parents are supposed to be told. It also advises that if a child is suicidal or being bullied, those are issues that the parents need to know about as well.
Absolutely. And even if my child decides to say, I'm a girl now, I want to use the boys' bathroom as a parent, I want to know. Why shouldn't I know?
And what's important, who loves parents, who loves their children more?
Parents.
Parents or the government.
Yeah.
And these radical policies and these ideologies are coming out that they want to take the exception to the rule and say, yeah, okay, there might be some parents, when they focus on the transgender issue, there might be some parents, but they're the exception that might not treat their children properly, or, the big alarming threat is, oh, these parents are going to throw their children out of the house. No, that's the exception, not the rule.
Right. So, Dr. K, you were voted in by the parents in the community, but you've been relentlessly attacked. What do you make by all of these attacks, and what are the parents who in this district thinking about all of this? Do they agree?
Really awesome question. So one thing that I want to make clear to the audience is that it's a four-pronged lawsuit. You have a few students, teachers, parents, and get this, the local teachers union, Temecula Valley Educators Association. So they're in on suing us, and what it's created, the teachers union has weaponized the school district against the majority of the board. And if the majority of the board, such as myself, represents the voices of our community, then it becomes even more profound. Now it's the local teachers union against the voices of the community. So what's happening is post-COVID lockdowns, you have parents pulling their kids out of school because they had a front room view into what's happening. So they get to see stuff like CRT exposure, hypersexualization of their kids. But now on top of that, now you're breaking the trust that we're trying to instill in our district by weaponizing it. And on top of it, teachers themselves, many of them have left the union because they're frustrated. They're saying, we didn't vote for you to sue our governing
and why
school
am I
board
paying these union dues and I don't even align with you or agree with you?
And so this is happening all across our county, state, country, and it's
State
just
of
time for
California.
parents to get involved. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm excited about the victory. But yeah, the attacks.
What about the recall? There's a recall, when is it, June 4th, right?
Yeah.
Against you?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
There's a political entity involved, the teachers union, and they've actively campaigned on and off our school districts to get a majority of the board off. And they've targeted me. They got the signatures, so I have a special election for June 4th. And my thought to that is I'm excited to reintroduce my values to the community once again. And I think that the liberal activists, even though they're a small minority, they're loud. I think they've awoken a sleeping giant.
I was just about to say that. The more they go after people like you, do you think that the more people wake up and see what's happening? It's because it's not their way. It's, not their way or the highway. That's what it seems like.
And I think the parents who voted me in, they're going to remind these liberal activists, we're going to vote them in again. That's just what I think.
Robert?
This is a battle that is going on across our state.
It is.
California leads in everything, not necessarily favorably. There was the Chino Valley Unified School District case in a different county where the judge ruled against the school district on a parental notification policy. And so this is a huge victory. I'm really honored to be able to represent, along with my colleagues, represent the Temecula Valley School Board because they're stepping out. They're doing what they need to do to protect children, preserve parental rights, and do what is best for our kids.
So what do you think is going to happen on May 23rd? That's the next court date. Overall, what do you think is going to, go down in this case?
I think ultimately what's going to happen is the parties will be filing motions for summary judgment. That's going to be the conclusion of the case. The judge will decide it. This is not a case that's likely to go to trial. This is a question of law. And so the judge has already given his opinion on the law. So the great likelihood is, as the judge's own opinion says in his ruling just last Friday, is that Temecula School District acted properly and constitutionally in adopting the resolution and the policy. And so it may go up on appeal. The lawyers for the teachers union and these plaintiffs might appeal it to a higher court. And frankly, the judge's rationale is so clear and correct. I think this is going to be sustained as we go up higher. And certainly Gavin Newsom and Rob Bonta.
Going after the school districts as well.
After, and saying, Mr. Komrosky, I know your name now.
Personally attacked me on Twitter.
Yeah, this was the governor.
I mean, this is huge. Like you said, as goes California, so goes the nation. So it's really important that the decisions made here actually are in the best interest of the parents and the students. So you're very optimistic, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. So this is a big victory. I stand corrected. I said it was a small victory, but if you say it's a big victory, this is huge.
It is, and it also empowers other school districts that are motivated by the parents to be their voice, to pass similar policies. There you go. This might be case law to help them.
Yeah.
So it's another call to action for parents and grandparents. get off the couch and get involved. Go vote.
I love that call to action, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, they don't like what's going on, but they're afraid, or they just don't want to get involved. You are getting involved.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Dr. K, Robert, did you want to say one last thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
if you want to support me on this campaign, DRK, the number 4, TVUSD.com. That's my website. And till then, I'm going to be fighting for our parental
Thank you.
rights and our children's innocence.
Thank you for fighting for the parental rights and for our children in the state. And please come back with an update.
Will do.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Stella.
For all our